What's up, y'all? This is Jeffery at Jeffery TV, coming to you live on Memorex from the ultimate remote location, modified default route. It's the default route with an extra mile attached to it, going in the same direction, basically walking straight down Market Street to pick up a rental car so that I may drive to McKeesport, Rock, one of those places. It's pretty much near Pittsburgh, to attend the George Clinton and Parliament Funkadelic concert. This is going to take place at the Roxy Theater, a place that I have been before. My previous experience was, I can't remember it. I mean, I remember it. I could see the place, where to park, you know, how to navigate all that. I remember I walked around, I was there early, and I started walking around looking to get something to eat. And I think I ended up getting a icy, if that was the same place or not another one. But in the crowd, got a fast pass, so I should be able to get in there. You know, I want to get there grotesquely early, take my time, sit in the parking lot, chill, walk around, maybe get something to eat. About an hour drive. But the exciting thing about this, is that I got an invitation to visit P. Haven. I was like, oh my God. I was all excited. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I, Larry Funster Jones, reached out and said I could, if I'm in the Burgh, stop by and see P. Haven. I'm like, oh God. I'm like, oh God. You know, because I don't want to say that, what's going on? It's not recording my voice? Stop it. Okay, sometimes it does that. It's recording my voice, but the audio indicator doesn't show, but it was recording anyway. So as I was saying, I don't want to say that there's not a lot of things that I respect. I don't want to say that there are very few things that I hold in reverence or that I think are sacred, air quotes. But I've always respected and I guess supported or whatever the way Larry Funster Jones handles the funk. His presentation, the dress, the dance, the celebration of the music. I told him years ago, that's the way it should be done, quote unquote, super quotes, that's the way it should be done. And if I was to draw up a stereotypical funk character or ideology or archetype, it would be very close to how he handles it and celebrates it, the music and the display and the way, just the whole thing, his whole era. Of course, I contrasted that with the way I look at, approach, and deal with the funk. Of course, you know, I'm definitely more critical. I'm definitely more outspoken. I mean, that's, you know, I am, but that's not what I mean. You know, I'm looking more at the nuts and bolts and the techniques and, you know, making it work, because the philosophy, that P-Funk philosophy means a lot to me. You know, when I was younger, or years ago, you know, I had more of a Funster Jones style. with the funk. Well, no, nobody has that much. Nobody, I don't think nobody on the planet, you know, can do what he has gotten to the level where he's at. That might be unprecedented. The way he carries it and been carrying it. And then when he comes to the Funky Church Ball, his costume, it was just, I mean, he's just rolling with it, you know? He just rolling with it, the music, the mixing, you know, the way he got it set up, how he presents the music, all of that. It's just about ideal, if that's a word that I could use. Like I said, as opposed to me being more critical, more, I don't know what the word is, but you know how I am, versus, you know, I appreciate the funk just as much as he does. We just go at it in two drastically different ways. But I can appreciate, you know, the way he does it. I always, he was like, hey, you in the bird? I said, I will be. He was like, hey, Pete Haven. I was like, oh my God. So I'm gonna make that happen. There's not too many things that I'll be trying to make happen. But I'm gonna make that happen. My birthday coming up. And on my birthday, I'm gonna take off. You know, go do my solo thing. And I might go do it in Pittsburgh. You know, see what's happening in Pittsburgh, hang around. You know, go check that out. So Roxy in Theater, McKees Rock, I believe it's called McKeesport, McKees Rock. Can I say smaller community? I don't know how to describe it. But as I remember, there was a lot of black people there. So that should probably kind of tell you something. Let your stereotypical biases run rampant. And the reason I said it that way is because very recently, you know, I've seen P-Funk in Chicago, Detroit, LA, Vegas, you know, major cities, major metropolitan areas or major cities or however you want to call it. You know, with big name, big city lights, big city people attending and whatnot. You know, cities that you can I pretty much am sure they get the band up and ready and they turn up their juices because it's this or this or that. So like I said, I saw them in DC, saw them there, saw them here, saw them there. And so tonight, they should be a little bit tired from touring. This venue may not garner the most, I don't want to say it. I was gonna say this may not garner the most respect by the band, but I don't want to disrespect the place because it's joints like this where you get, it's joints like this where you get a certain kind of, different kind of show. And I'm not saying good or bad, I'm just saying, you know, it's different if you're playing, you know, in front of the president or, you know, all the stars out in Hollywood come out, say Barack Obama in the crowd. It's gonna be different for them. That's all I'm saying. That's an extreme, you know what I mean? If they know they playing for Barack Obama, it's gonna be different than if they, you know, just playing. I can even say here in Youngstown, but no, they say Youngstown, they better break because they know my ass is gonna be here, and I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna be doing the opposite of the Larry Funster Jones thing. I'm gonna be on their asses. No, I don't be on it. You know what? I might be on their asses. I really might be on their asses. It's just that they playing so damn good, there's nothing really fucking to say. So I feel like I'm not on their ass. It's been so long since I've been critical about something. It feel like I'm going soft. But it might be that either I'm getting old and I'm getting soft, or they really putting it down. It's really, I'm looking hard. I'm trying to figure stuff. I'm looking there. I'm standing there, you know me. I'm like, hey, you know, I'm not really anymore saying, what can I see that's wrong? You know, and there's probably a lot of little stuff that just goes by me now because I understand it's just basically insignificant. But, I mean, I got no complaints other than that extra drum hit on P-Funk, on that drum pad. Other than that, you know, and the way Mr. Curry stays on that bass line kind of helps me get over that. Because he be nailing that freaking bass line. I mean, continuously for like, how long they play that song? For like 2 hours? With all the solos and stuff. See, now I'm walking across the street, big Main Street, 224 and 7, talking to my stick. I know people looking at me, but you know who I am. I don't know if they can see that I'm mic'd up, but they can definitely see that I'm, you know, doing what I do. In fact, let me show you. Here it is. There's the Southern Park Mall over there behind those trees and stuff. That's 224. I think that's going to Poland. That's Market Street. That's going to the north side in Liberty. And I think that's 224 going to Canfield, I believe. See, I lived out here, but we never really went to all these places. Well, I mean, we did, but I was young and I'm still trying to get my bearings around. So this is the way I'm going. I gotta walk like another mile that way to get to Hertz. Supposed to pick up the car at 2. So that goes to Canfield. That goes to the north. That goes to Youngstown, actually, because we're in Boardman now. Technically, we're in Boardman. That goes to Youngstown, south side, where I born and raised. And that goes to Poland. And one time I ended up in Poland on accident. It was so nice and rich looking there, and affluent. I got scared. I was like, I better get out of here. Because if I lived in houses this nice, I wouldn't want people coming in my neighborhood that I didn't know. And I would probably have the power and jurisdiction and know people to make sure that could happen. I mean, let's just face it. If you, for whatever reason you get the money, however you get the money, or the wealth, you accumulate the wealth or whatever, regardless of how you do it, if you got it, there's gonna be certain perks and power that comes with it. That ain't racial, that's just money. Now you might say it's racial bias. If you get the money, there might have been discrimination back then and back this and that and that. You know, that's valid. Shoot. I'm sitting in a nice ass neighborhood, I spend all this money on neighborhood. I don't wanna see certain people in that neighborhood. And hey, officer, how's the chief doing? Yeah, he was over for cocktails the other night, and you know, we were talking about those doggone Browns. Oh my gosh. The mayor? Oh, he couldn't make it. I would be the one. I don't know if I would be, let's be honest. Actually, I would be. I mean, I wouldn't be like that, but people would know me and like me, and I would get invited to stuff, blah, 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 blah. You know, so you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying. I would be working it. Whatever community I think community or village, what's the word, or social group or whatever that I'm in, you know, I'll probably be a part. But then again, I'm not so much that. People ain't looking. People ain't looking. You know, but where I live at, I'm not. You know, I've lived there for 20 years and I really haven't, you know, become that. So, I don't know. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'm just not, you know, maybe I don't believe in the collective. Anyway, here is an, you know, not putting the collective first is a major tenet of objectivism by Ayn Rand, which, you know, I really uphold and love. Not love, but, you know, respect and identify with. So here's the extra part that I walk. This is why I kept the camera on later in the walk. Got another mile or so till I get to rent-a-car place. Probably supposed to get there at 2. Probably get there a little earlier. Pick up the car. You know, I better come back, take my time. Probably mess with granddaughter a little bit. Eat. Then I'm gonna go grotesquely early. I'm not gonna push it. I'm gonna get there early. You know, I'm gonna get there early, so I can chill and just sit in the car, smoke Black and Milds, even get a little bit lazy, then maybe come back off of that. You know, and then I might, like I said, for my birthday, I might go to Pittsburgh, get a hotel for 2 nights in Pittsburgh. I want to get a motel. From them damn Black and Milds. That, and I like being able to walk outside immediately, regardless if I'm smoking or not. Walking through a hotel lobby and this and that. You know, that gets kind of old. Well, you know, that might be over, you know, trying to say it too cool. But it does get kind of old. You know, got to go up elevators. And, you know what I'm saying. You go up elevators and whatnot to get to where you got to get to. You know, trying to see how I can hold this thing the best way. All right, that's comfortable right here like this. How's that? Southern Park Mall, Boardman High School. We've walked down here before. We've walked down here before. Here's the food court. That's where I go in to do my steps. So me and granddaughter go in to do our steps right there. That's where she had her accident. Yeah, I was just thinking about my disability insurance and stuff. I gotta eventually call and talk to somebody and get that all squared away. See what that says? You can't break a city built from steel. And it says Forge, Boardman, Ohio. Can you see that? You see that? When I first saw it, I was like, Youngstown is the steel place, not Boardman. That was my first reaction. And then I heard talk that other people felt the same way. I'm like, wait a minute. It was Youngstown, not Boardman. But regardless of how you want to look at it, Boardman is winning right now. And oh yeah, yesterday I was riding. I just want to take a ride, you know. My daughter didn't have no gas in the car, so I went and put gas in the car. And I said, hey, I'll put gas in, let me ride around. It was a nice day. You know, I just wanted to be out for a second. And I'm riding, and I noticed there's nobody on the streets. There's no people on the streets. I'm riding down Market Street, the main drag, through Youngstown, through the South Side, and there's like nobody on the streets. And I realized there's no demand or pull for people to be on the streets. There's no reason for them to be anybody out there. It's just, you know, number one, on that end, there's just like no businesses, there's nothing open. There's no reason for them to, one time me and Kimberly saw this dude walking down Market Street. It was at night. You know, it might have been like 9 o'clock. It was dark, but you know, it wasn't too late. You know, he was walking deliberately like, you know, he was going someplace. And I was like, where's he going? What's he walking for? And she said, yeah, because there's nothing open. There's nothing, you know, there's nothing open or nothing to do down there. It's all closed, especially if you go that way. If you're going north on Market from Midlothian, it's like almost dangerous to be out there. So, and there's just no reason. And then I come out here, and you see how this is, and I showed you how the corner was, you know, they got all the Red Lobsters and the food places in the mall and, you know, all that kind of, you know, modernized commercial establishments. But even, and there's no reason to walk there either. You drive. You drive to the place you want to get to, you get out, you go in it, and, you know, there's no reason to walk. I drove downtown. Well, ain't no reason to walk downtown. That's for damn sure. Because it's kind of, you know, pretty much, it wasn't happening. I guess it was a Monday or a certain time or whatever, but it just wasn't nothing going on down there. So I'm riding around, I'm seeing nobody, no human beings. Yeah, I know I talk a lot of stuff about human beings, but seeing them gives me energy, be it positive or negative. If I say something that gets on my nerves, that's a jolt. You know, that's a stimulation. If I see something that, you know, inspires me, we'll go Boardman Stadium. Can you see it? I zoom in all the way. That's 4, magnitude of 4.0. How's that look? You know? So, because where I live, as soon as I walk up my apartment, and I live on kind of a residential street, as soon as I walk in my apartment, any time of day, I'm gonna see somebody walking. Almost guaranteed. I'm gonna see somebody walking. It's almost any time at night. Well, I'm exaggerating, but you know, 2, 3 in the morning. 2, 3 in the morning, I'm liable to see somebody out there, walking their dog or doing something. Homeless or whatever. I'm gonna see somebody or something. During the day, all the time. And then if I walk 500 feet to the main street, there's always somebody. There's almost not a crowd of people, but there's multiple people going here, going there, walking, doing this. You know, maybe people who's supposed to be out there, maybe people who ain't, blah, blah. But you're gonna see somebody. And then during the daytime, it's almost crowded with people. There's always people coming and going. And I guess that's because there's almost like a demand to walk. You know, it's set up, whatever. Out here, it's not. Maybe because it's winter. Maybe because, you know, like, yeah, since you have winter out here, and for those months, ain't nobody gonna get out there and walk. So maybe, you know, in California, you can always, you know, the weather permits it year round, you know, walking or whatever. So maybe that's why, and maybe that's the way the whole landscape and the architecture of the buildings and the transportation is set up. Because like a lot of these places don't even have sidewalks. I'm lucky to be walking on the sidewalk here. As you can see, there's no reason for anybody to be walking here. And this street is set up, but there's no reason for somebody to be out here walking. You drive. You get out, you get back in your car and you drive. So that kind of hit me yesterday. I was like, oh, okay. I get it, that's that, okay. You know. But, so it's P-Funk Day today. So it's gonna be fun to go and see the band. I think this might be, you know, seeing them, this will be my 10th time seeing them this year. It's not even halfway through the year yet. They do in Europe in September. There may be some more shows at the end of this year. No, they're not doing Europe. They're doing Australia and Tokyo. Australia and Japan. If they did Europe, I'd have been hard pressed not to go. If they did Europe, I would have been very hard pressed not to go. If they do South America, I gotta go. If they do South America, I got to go. That's the only continent I ain't been to. That'd be the ultimate reason to do that. So tonight we'll see. You know, just relax. Like I said, I'm full. I got mine. I'm full. I got mine. That Ventura show was good. The House of Blues show sound was kind of weird, but it was still good. The band is innovative. They're doing stuff. You know, there's new stuff in there. You know, it's not like nothing majorly new. Well, I guess major is so relative. But, you know, anything. Play quickie, just stuff. You know. Y'all see that? Ceddy J. DeBartolo. That's the headquarters of San Francisco 49ers, owners. They're from here. Six Super Bowls they got? I think they got 6. Dallas got 5, I think. There goes San Francisco, there you go. That's what it looks like right there. These people, I'm gonna let these people go, because they itchy. These the kind of people who blow at you. If you make a right turn and don't use your turn signal, they blow at you. I'm like, you ain't supposed to be following me that damn close anyway. So I'm gonna take my time, I'll let them go. Stay out of their way. Because they obviously got something very important to go to, or to do. And as I say that, I'm gonna walk across against the green. There ain't nobody out here. Get your safety. See, look, there's no sidewalk. There's no reason to have a sidewalk here. There's no sidewalk. There it is. Owner of the San Francisco 49ers. And I showed you his installation or exhibit, or whatever you call it, in the mall. DeBartolo with his Godfather Italian looking self. Started, you know, malls and construction and all that stuff, and turned it into something really big. Big enough to buy football teams and hockey teams. I think he owned the Pittsburgh Penguins for a while. Something like that, I'm not sure. But anyway, so we gotta come up on Hertz. Gary come up on Hertz. Let y'all see me for a little bit. See what I look like. See how stylish or unstylish I am. How unshaven. I need to shave. And I will before I go. Shower, shave, eat. Put some in my belly. Hit the road. Going up there, I'm gonna take the non-toll road. Going up, since it's daytime, I'm gonna take the quote-unquote back roads. Coming back at night, I'm gonna pay some money to get the turnpike. I'm gonna buy some money so I can take turnpike and be on that bright, big, bright, wide interstate. I think it might cost me $7.88 or something like that. But for peace of mind, you know, not like I can't afford it, but it's the principle. It's not about affording it or not affording it. It's the principle. I be having my ass out here walking, don't I? My ass be out here walking. I'm used to it now. It's no big deal now. I might need to stop and reevaluate if I can, but I think I'm so far. I think a fish don't know it's wet. I'm probably so used to just walking now, it's probably hard for me to realistically evaluate just how much walking I do. One way is that it says, for people my age, it tells you, for people your age, you walk in the 95th percentile or something like that. That is kind of a way of kind of gauging it. But, it's hard for me to tell, I guess. I had salad last night. I had salad and my chips. So I did good at that. And then at night, I went to bed. I had some cookies, circus peanuts, cherry sours. I think that's all I had. I don't think I had a zero candy bar. These people do not know how to handle pedestrians. I'm staying out of their way. I learned my lesson. I'm staying out of their way. Nope. You go. Nope, because you tell me to go, and if I don't go fast enough, you be getting itchy. Nope, 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 nope. Ain't for it. Ain't for that. Ain't for that at all. Here we go, but it hurts. Go see my people up here. Remember when I first came here, service was so terrible. And it was black girls working there. And I did my stereotypical thing that I do. I racially profiled them. Until I understood exactly what they dealt with and I got to know them, and now, hey, it's cool. You know what I mean? Hey, it's cool. I was like, yeah, I get it. I get it now. I get it. I don't see no cars out here. They better have a car for me. They better have a car for me. So, as I like to say, is that flipped? I think it's flipped. If this is flipped, there's got to be a way I can figure this out. Because see, this Jeffery thing is on the other side, and it's just weird. The Jeffery logo that I got, the branding thing down there, it's not on the side that, so if I put a picture up and I put a picture up half screen, for me to see me, I have to be behind the picture because things are flipped anyhow. So we're gonna y'all 2 times. For me, for the phone, which is gonna happen tonight in Pittsburgh. And for every elementary particle that has ever existed in any atom, in this or any universe that ever was, is, or will be. The totality of it all, theory of universe. Hypothesis of all as one. My name is Jeffery.